Tell me what to do. I have my bestie with me and she will leave me. Yeah. You won't? Okay.
Hi, welcome to episode 3.
That sounded like Gollum. She didn't like it
Meisha gets really offended.
when we laugh.
Today we had a really fun episode planned because, as we discussed in the last episode, you are unfortunately an SM stan.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you were telling us that you had an SM stan friend
Yeah.
that influenced you to be the way you are today.
The way I was influenced? Really?
No offense. I'm the one who's gonna get canceled. You're too mean to her. I'm sorry, but I'm an SM anti at my core. I can't help it.
Okay.
It can't be.
Okay. I mean, we have to hate something somewhere.
And for me, it's Red Velvet.
Oh, really?
I'm.
Okay, stop it. She's not in. You're not.
I don't know why she's doing that.
Okay.
I'm gonna kick you off. So that's the idea for today's video.
And that's the podcast. Thank you.
That's it. We'll
That's
cut
it.
now. So,
Where do we begin?
where do we begin? Because, okay. Briefly recapitulate. Tell us tell us how you became an SM stan. Like, what drew you to SM? Why do you consider yourself an SM stan?
Well, you're saying that I'm an SM stan. Well, I do have a lot.
I've literally seen your album collection, and
I don't have that much though. But yeah, I'm an SM stan. Okay, so I'll recapitulate. Is that a word?
I don't know.
I'll rewind.
It just felt natural to say.
Okay, so I'll recapitulate. I can't see it naturally, but it's okay. So I was introduced to K-pop by SM.
Yeah.
I watched. The first song that I heard was "Sorry Sorry" by Super Junior. Sorry. And we were dancing on that. On the song, we were doing it in class. It was pretty cute. And then I was mostly into DBSK/TVXQ.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just remembered that. I had a flashback. One of my friends was taking Korean lessons at the embassy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And she bought a TVXQ album. It was in Chinatown, so it was a Chinese version.
Okay.
And it's the first album. And when she was moving out a few years later, like a decade later, she gave it to me and I still have it. So my first SM album was TVXQ Chinese version with Balloon on it.
Balloon.
So yeah.
But why do you like SM now? Like, what is it about SM that you like the majority of the artists? Because you're always sending me things from Key, Taemin,
Well, I've
NCT.
NCT is a pretty, like, it's kind of new for me, NCT. I was really holding it back to not be a stan of them.
Okay.
Because it's so big. I was not really understanding the concept. And having members added to the group on and on and on. I don't mind the fact that they have new members. I think it's pretty cool and innovative, but
Yeah.
it's so hard when you're not from the beginning a stan to try to learn them.
Yeah.
And try to learn the concept, and there's like groups and subgroups, and then NCTU is like always moving around, and
Yeah.
so NCT, I was really holding it back. For Shiny,
It's shiny.
it's shiny.
It's shiny.
I love them so much, and I think the first albums that I bought from them was the album they released after Jonghyun passing.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a trilogy. Story of Light or something like that, part 1, 2, and 3. It's honestly, I think it's the best trilogy I've ever heard
Ever
life.
in the
Like,
world.
in the world. It's so good. And yeah, so Shiny and Key, I don't know who's my bias in Shiny. It's always changing. Yeah.
Oh.
It's always changing.
I had one hardcore bias, and that was it.
Taemin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I tell you, or did you just guess?
No, I guessed.
You guessed?
I guessed.
Do I seem like a Taemin stan?
You do.
Okay, I
You
see.
do.
But that's an important part of this episode, actually. How I got into Shiny and how I got out of Shiny, out of love with Shiny. Because I think they really triggered my disdain for SM music,
Oh, really?
alongside with Super Junior.
I thought it was Super Junior. That
It's just I never really listened to Super Junior. It's just things they did and said that like offended me when I was really young.
yeah, that's the thing. I don't really follow those stuff.
Yeah. I was always on like all K-pop and like reading up on what
I'm
people and Super Junior, they were being like fat phobic and sexist. And that's when I had like a 10-year beef with Shindong because of what he said. And that's like all I could remember.
Yeah.
But basically, I got into Shiny in like 2008.
Okay, so it was during Ring Ding Dong.
Replay.
Replay?
They debuted and I really liked them.
I thought it was 2006.
I think you're a fake stan.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not really good with those dates.
So Replay came out and I really liked it.
Yeah.
And I became...
Which is a cover, but it's okay.
Is it really a cover?
It
Of who?
Nilo? I don't know, it's a cover.
Oh.
SM is pretty good with covers.
I guess so. Hot Summer, Dreams Come True. But anyways, I was obsessed with Shiny. Like obsessed. I don't know if this is an appropriate story to tell, but my first smut fanfic I accidentally read because I didn't understand.
What is a smut fanfic?
It's inappropriate.
Really?
But I didn't
You read it or you wrote it?
read it.
Okay.
But like I didn't know what smut meant.
Well, I don't. I learned it today, so it's okay.
I read it said smut, and I read it with my friend. We were reading it together.
Okay.
And then it took a turn, and we were like super young and shocked at what was being written about them because it was like Taemin and Mino together.
Why not Key?
I don't know, because it was just them. They were in love, and then suddenly they're doing stuff.
Okay.
And we were shocked. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And then that's the day I learned what smut meant.
Okay.
But I was obsessed with him, and up until when Sherlock came out, which was what, 2010?
Yeah.
So I was obsessed, and I was so obsessed that it hurt my heart. I was really sad about standing Shiny.
Just because of Sherlock?
No. This is before
Okay.
Sherlock. I was just so obsessed that it hurt.
Okay.
I loved them so much that like
Yeah.
I would like wake up sad and being like, I'll never meet them. He'll never know who I am.
Okay.
Don't judge. This is a really long time ago.
Yeah, you were young. That's okay.
I was a fetus. I was a child.
was a fetus.
And I loved him, okay? I was obsessed and I loved him, and I would wake up hurt every day. So from that point on, I decided I should learn from this and not be super obsessed with K-pop because it was hurting my heart.
So just because it was hurting your heart, you stopped standing Shiny.
No, the thing is, Sherlock came out and it was the worst song I'd ever heard in my life. And then I was like, I'm done.
So you really stopped standing them because of Sherlock?
Yes.
Okay,
Because it just came out right after Lucifer, right?
Yeah.
Lucifer was everything. My friend and I, we were obsessed. The same friend that I read the smut fanfic with by accident. We were obsessed. And Sherlock came out and I was like, I don't like their sound. I don't like this.
I love Sherlock.
You know, to each their own, I guess, right?
Do you like Ring Ding Dong?
Yes. I do.
I don't like it. It's so annoying.
Ring ding dong. Ding. My mom even knows ring ding ding. Ring ding dong.
I don't like Ring Ding Dong.
That's a shocker to me.
Why?
Because it's a classic.
It's a classic. A song can be a classic and you still don't like it. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, a song can be a classic and still suck. Is what you're trying to say about our beloved
Well,
Ring Ding Dong.
it doesn't suck. I just don't like it. It's not my favorite.
Fair enough. I loved it though. I pretty much loved everything they did. Oh, like, I say that, but I didn't like, was it Juliet?
Juliet. Oh. It's another cover.
SM has no originality.
SM is buying songs left and right and redoing it.
I mean, I guess it works, right?
Works, yes.
But when I was younger, I listened to anything. Second gen me would have listened to anything. It came out, I'll listen to it. Why not? But now I have standards. It's all fun and games. Are you offended?
I'm not.
She's fine with it, so please be nice to me.
I'm okay with that. It's okay. You can, like, I don't really know 21 songs enough.
This is where we end the podcast. We're 3 episodes in.
You're offended?
I'm out.
I mean, I didn't really listen to 21.
That's a shocker, too.
I think I listened to... what's the name? Carlien de Bin.
Fire, I don't care, can't nobody, clap your hands.
No, I think I listened more to 4 Minute than 21.
Oh, here I'm thinking you're trying to figure out a 21 song you heard.
Oh, no.
She doesn't know any.
I don't think so. I know them. Okay, here's the thing. When I was studying at university, when I was studying, I was listening to Kpop through YouTube on playlists.
Yeah.
But I wasn't watching who was playing. So there's a lot of songs that I know, but I don't know who's singing it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like Just Right from GOT7. I love that song, but I didn't know it was them.
Yeah. She could be a 21 stan.
I could.
For all we know.
I could. But I don't know it's them. That's the thing. So I think is it 4 Minute or 21?
That's 21.
There you go.
That's one of their biggest hits.
Okay.
I Am the Best.
Oh, I know that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're mostly an SM stan. I was mostly a YG stan. Yeah. Sherlock really triggered my disdain.
I love that song.
I don't know. It came out, and yes, Taemin had long hair, and that was immaculate, perfect, amazing, right?
It was.
But
and the clothes.
It was just bad.
It was so bad.
Everything was bad about it. And, I just stopped liking SM. And to this day, it's not that I go out of my way to hate SM songs.
And after that, if I'm telling you some titles tracks from Shiny, can you remember and say if you like them or not?
Go for it.
Okay, so if it's after
Sherlock.
After Sherlock, there was no, I can't think of it.
View.
Oh my god, it's the best song ever.
The first time I heard View was ATEEZ's cover of View.
Yeah. And then they said they sung
Goodbye,
Sweat, Blood and Tears.
Baby, goodbye.
Yeah.
And Blood, Sweat and Tears, yeah. But people are like, why aren't you talking about View by Shiny?
It's the best song. Honestly, it's the song that is not getting old for me.
You
don't like... Okay, tell me what to do.
I don't know. I've never heard it.
You never heard it?
No.
I was singing it later.
Oh.
Earlier.
Yeah, you were. I didn't know that was Shiny.
It was Shiny. It's so good. Tell me what to do. What was before that? One of One?
No.
One of One girl. Da, 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 da.
No.
Married to the Music?
No.
No. It's the song by default for Halloween.
Okay.
For me.
To be fair, in 2012, I really got into BAP.
And you were only standing there.
Nothing existed to me aside from BAP.
True.
And 21.
True.
So I don't really know a lot of what SM did during that time. From 2012 to...
Well, there was EXO.
I casually stand EXO, actually.
I wasn't. I was too much into BAP. I wasn't into EXO. And now I have albums from them.
That's true. But I did like 2012 EXO because they were teased so much. They were teased for so long. SM was like, we're releasing a group. It's going to be revolutionary. They're going to have, you know, a Chinese version and a Korean version. Yeah. So everyone was like super excited because it was kind of the first of its kind.
Yeah, it was.
We had Miss A who had 2 Chinese members, 2 Korean members. Yeah. But it wasn't like a subunit. Yeah, but this was like the first time we were going to have like, was it 6 members? Yes, because we are 12 or we are 1. They're 12, but
they are 12, but they're 1. Yeah.
So like 6 Korean members, 6 Chinese members,
well,
but they weren't.
I think there was still a Chinese member into the Korean group.
No, there was 2, I believe.
Shumin?
No, he's Korean.
He's Oh my god, he does have a Chinese name.
But he was an XOM.
He was?
Yes, he was an XOM. See? So he went
I wasn't into EXO at the beginning.
I was totally here for it. Shumin was in XOM. Okay. So there's 2 Korean members in XOM. Yeah. So people...
Oh, that's why. Okay.
People were like, well, is it really XOM? Okay. And the Chris went viral or something for saying like, but we have 4 Chinese members. Yeah. You know? But I was here for it. And like, there was so many memes about like, in 100 years, EXO is going to debut because SM kept releasing so many teasers, but they were never making their debut.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
And then What Is Love came out. That's such a beauty. Do not sit here and tell me you don't know What Is Love.
I don't think I do know. Well, maybe I do, but I don't know it's them. No? I think it does ring a bell.
Okay. I love...
Am I a SM stan?
Is she an SM auntie? Am I actually the SM stan? Is this the plot twist we've all been waiting for? So What Is Love came out. Okay. And then Mama came out.
Yeah, I don't really like that song. I think I'm more into later EXO songs.
Yeah. I'm into more earlier EXO songs. And by that, I just mean What Is Love.
What is love?
Mama was revolutionary for its time. If SM released that today, people would be like, it's an SM song. True. But back then, everyone was memeing it. The lyrics. Careless, shoot, anonymous, motherless, fatherless.
No one care about me. Is that?
Yes. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
That was
it's quite so emo.
That was quite a debut.
It was so.
And then they had History, and
the superpowers.
Superpowers.
They all have superpowers.
Oh yeah, I didn't get that.
They all came from an exoplanet and shit. But I like the fact that, you know, SM do have a storyline concept.
But is it that original?
No, but I mean, they kept the powers for the EXO members. So even if they're doing solo stuff, like, example, Kai, his power is teleporting or something like that. And he still teleports in his solo stuff. I like that. Okay. It's a little hint that they're still in. But I don't think they're aliens anymore.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
But it was interesting that they debuted after BAP and they had like a similar concept.
Yeah, it was aliens. I think that's why I didn't really like it.
Maybe when you're a hardcore stan of a group, you tend to... I was a toxic baby, at least.
I was just a baby.
I hate that fandom name. I can't wait for the day where we roast all these fandom names because they can't just get away with it. They can't. They had so many options. But anyways, this isn't about BAP. No,
it isn't.
Let's stay on our SM track, our SM slander. So I liked SHINee. Yeah, I never really listened to TVXQ. Who are we missing here? Super Junior, obviously I'm an auntie.
FX.
I did like FX.
I loved them. I like them. Okay, Electric Shock, it's a banger. Hot Summer 2. But I would say that my favorite song is Four Walls.
I've never heard that song.
See, it's a later song.
Yeah. So my BAP phase and then my K-pop break. Yeah. So it came out in like 2016, 2015?
I can't remember. It was when someone parted ways with them.
They've always had 5 members, no?
No, they were 4.
Really? I do not remember that.
Yeah, because it was 4 walls. Love is 4 walls.
Well, that doesn't mean they were 4 members.
No, they were 4. They were 4 in that one.
Okay.
So someone parted ways. And yeah, 4 walls. Red Velvet. You know you don't like them.
Who?
Red Velvet.
Well, don't tell people.
I know you don't like them.
It's not okay. I'll tell a little story.
Okay, go ahead.
So I started doing like all dances are the same. Remember, all Blackpink dances are the same. And then I had been in a K-pop break, so I didn't really know anyone else. So people were suggesting like do Twice, do Red Velvet. So I did Red Velvet, and I just didn't.
You didn't vibe with the songs?
Vibe with the songs or the performances, and it was painful to do. To sit through all that footage. I'm gonna have to cut that out. Well, I'm so sorry.
Which one did you don't like? All of them?
Yeah.
Like Happiness.
Okay.
Ice Cream Cake.
I also have a bad first memory of Red Velvet.
Okay.
Because before they debuted, SM announced that they'd have a girl group called Red Velvet.
Yeah.
Then there was this indie group called Red Velvet.
Oh, really?
And they were begging SM to not use that name.
Oh.
And they didn't have the money to like defend their copyright. They didn't have one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, they didn't. That's why. Because Korea is pretty strict with copyrights.
Yeah, so they were an indie group, I believe. I didn't even know them, but I was rooting for the underdog. So when this big company came and said like we're not backing down, we're gonna call them Red Velvet no matter what.
Yeah,
it left a bad taste in my mouth. I was pretty young too, so like if that happened today, I probably
don't care.
Probably, yeah. I don't know. So then my first impression of Red Velvet is that they're stealing from a small group. Yeah, I get it. So that was my first impression. I didn't hate Happiness. I
like it.
I was there cute. For their debut. Mm-hmm. It was all right. It just wasn't a song that I was in love with. It's cute. Yeah. It's one of their better songs. Obviously I love Psycho.
Yeah, Psycho is such an icon.
Yeah, I love Psycho.
Yeah, I think honestly maybe it's a little bit controversial, but after Psycho, I don't like the other songs. It's the last comeback that I still really like. I listened to albums before. Mm-hmm. I was a girl group stan, I guess. I was a stan for Red Velvet. Red Flavor, Russian Roulette, Ice Cream Cake, all their songs until Psycho.
Yeah. So you well, I don't think that counts as a girl group. No, you're not standing like multiple girl groups, but your mic, what? It only catches sound from one side, and the side's pointing down.
Oh no! Wait. Hi. Oh, it's better now. I think it is. Oh shit. Okay, sorry.
It's okay. But yeah, I had a bad taste for Red Velvet. Mm-hmm. Because of that initial experience, and then because I just didn't love their performances.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You can, like, I don't really vibe with aespa performances.
Yeah.
I don't really vibe with their sound either.
Okay.
I would say.
That's interesting because I love aespa.
I don't. It's okay. I can listen to them, but I won't buy their stuff. I won't really I won't go and reach for it.
Yeah.
I love Black Mamba, and that ends here.
Yeah. And that's fair too. So I wouldn't say like I'm too much of an SM anti. I think I'm a healthy amount of SM anti.
Yeah, you're able to listen to them when it plays in my car.
Yeah, an NCT Dream, Hot Sauce, and Beatbox.
Yeah. They were the song of your summer.
Yeah, great songs. Mm-hmm. So, I hate them regular about it. I think it's good.
And good Girls' Generation?
Oh yeah, no. I had like a brain fart, and like they're not under SM.
What?
I thought that for a split second. That's why I got confused. Yeah, I loved Girls' Generation. Well, I would say I was a casual stan, but like I learned some of their choreographies and like I anticipated their comebacks, but they never sounded much like an SM group.
I'm sorry, they initiated the roller coaster vibe.
A roller coaster, but anyone can do a roller coaster. I just feel like
but they were kind of the first, and roller coaster is still a sound that you find mostly in SM.
Yes, but you know, if we hear EXO singing, if we hear TVXQ singing, if we hear SHINee singing, I feel like there's a certain level of interchangeability within them. So you could picture SHINee singing an NCT song, or NCT, you could picture them singing like a SHINee song.
Yeah, I think it's because SM is pretty big into R&B sound. And most of the B-side track from the SM groups are R&B.
Yeah. But like on top of a lot of R&B sounds, there's just this vocal editing that I mention a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just when they're doing like a high note.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's so distinct.
Yeah.
It could be anybody singing that in SM.
But I think it's because they're in-house. Like when they're recording, it's really in-house.
Yeah.
Compared to any other groups that needs to go in a studio and outside of their company and go record and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Brave Sound was doing stuff with other groups. The company, Alexa's company,
ZB
Label, they were doing stuff with other groups.
Yeah. So SM's they have a distinct sound.
They're pretty much a big bubble.
Yeah, but I always felt like Girls' Generation didn't fit in there 100%.
I don't know. For me, Girls' Generation is the definition of SM.
Fair, but I just feel like their boy groups sounded very similar to one another.
Yeah.
Compared to Girls' Generation. You know, you're not going to see NCT do G.
Maybe because they have more boy groups than girl groups.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because they have TVXQ, SHINee, Super Junior, NCT, EXO, 5 groups.
M.
And Super M. 6 groups.
Yeah.
And then for the girls, there were
Girls' Generation,
FX, who's not there anymore, Red Velvet,
and aespa. Yeah.
So 4 groups. And got does it count? Well,
I guess so.
It's the girl group from it's the Super M sister group.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever hear from Got the Beat again, ever.
I think they performed for the SM Town-ish.
They did. They were lip syncing, but that's not a conversation for today.
No, not the one online.
They were probably lip syncing anyway.
I don't know.
No, but I mean, I just think sometimes SM creates these groups to never be seen again. Like, what was it? Max Step? Unique Unit? Max Step, it had like Luhan, Kai, Taemin, Hyoyeon, and someone from Super Junior. And then we never heard from them again. And then there was other
Wasn't
groups
it for a end of the year show?
I think it was an ad, but I feel like Got the Beat is going to be the exact same. Like, they came out with that one song. We're never going to see them again.
Okay. Maybe.
I feel like SM has a lot of plans. But
yeah, maybe. Which other one?
That's all I can think of.
Yeah, me too.
What's interesting, though, I've talked about this before, but I'll bring it up to you and you can tell me if you agree. So I feel like between JYP and SM, there's always like parallels. So
what do you mean?
Girls' Generation was an SM group, and then JYP came out with Twice.
Was an SM group. Is still an SM group.
Okay. Is an SM group.
Okay.
But like, there's a parallel. I always thought Twice was super similar to Girls' Generation.
I don't think so. They're not even in the same generation.
Shut up, baby. You don't remember that? They're literally in like the sports outfits, just like Girls' Generation was in O.
Honestly, O wasn't
Cute Concepts.
Wasn't a song that I was reaching for. I've never really reached out for O, so I don't remember the video clip. I think I'm a fake fan though.
I think so.
I just
you
think
probably
I
were.
don't really vibe with Girls' Generation itself.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, maybe. I think I thought Tiffany was taking too much space.
That's funny. That's fair. I've had a lot of thoughts like that as well growing up.
Yeah. I was like, I don't really vibe with her. She's taking too much space.
I loved her.
She was a bit too loud for me.
But Girls' Generation, mostly generally cute concepts with a few spicy things in between.
Okay.
Twice, a girl group from JYP,
Yeah.
9 members.
Okay.
Cute concept, even down to like the little sport outfits.
Well, sport outfits are everywhere.
Listen. That's not the only parallel.
Okay.
SM Entertainment, Girls' Generation versus Twice, JYP.
Mm-hmm.
Then SM came out with FX, which is more teen crush. You know, you can't compare it to Girls' Generation. They're not similar at all. What does JYP come out with?
What?
ITZY.
Well, what, 10 years later?
I know, I'm telling you there's parallels, and I think it's interesting.
Parallel. It's not in the same timeline.
But it's just interesting that
FX wasn't even
active
when ITZY came out.
But I think it's an interesting parallel.
I would say that aespa and ITZY are in parallel, not FX.
Listen, I thought about this before aespa debuted. Now, you would just expect all the same concept. If a group's debuting today, you're gonna expect girl crush or teen crush. Like, you're never really gonna get.
What was New Jeans? What is their concept?
New Jeans is interesting, and you can feel the SM vibes from them.
Yeah, it's really R&B.
Because the creative director from SM went under Hybe's label Adore.
Yeah.
So she's in charge.
Mm-hmm. I think she's not under SM anymore. I think she was fired or something.
Well, she's definitely not under SM anymore.
No, she's not, but I think, they parted ways and she went there.
But New Jeans is very SM.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was just trying to say that there's a parallel, in my opinion, to Girls' Generation and Twice and FX and ITZY.
I don't really see it because Girls' Generation are so much older than Twice.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm wording it wrong. It's just interesting, the sequence of how things ended up. It feels like they're following a formula. You don't agree? That's fine. It's fine.
It's not that I don't agree. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but it's not processing. I don't see it.
It just always felt like JYP was copying SM. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I wouldn't say that. Maybe for you, but I wouldn't say that.
Fair.
Because no, I don't think Twice is in parallel with Girls' Generation.
Okay, even though they're both 9 members and cute concept.
I don't see. Okay, maybe G is a cute concept, but still, I think if I'm thinking about Girls' Generation, I'm thinking about Run Devil Run, Lionheart, G, Ginny. What's the one with the airplane who's Japanese? It's a Japanese one. Not Flower Power.
A Galaxy Supernova?
No, and with the airplane.
Airplane?
Yeah.
Like on the album?
No.
In the music video, there's an airplane?
Yeah.
I really don't know.
I think it's Flower something. And Sunny's doing something super cool. And well, super cool. She does have a cool line. And I was like, justice for Sunny. But yeah.
I don't know.
Catch Me If You Can. I Got a Boy. The other one.
I don't know.
The Poison. Je sais pas trop là.
The Boys?
No.
Anyways, I'm wording it right.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see only cute concept.
Fair enough. I mean, but Twice doesn't only do cute either.
Well, it was super later and still.
Yeah.
Like,
I was a Twice hater at first, actually.
Really?
Because they copied the Girls' Generation's outfits in Cheer Up. So
they didn't. JYP did.
Yeah. So I didn't like Twice at first because I thought they were Girls' Generation knockoffs. So that's my story. But did you know, apparently, Blackpink was supposed to be modeled off of Girls' Generation.
Baby Monster?
Pink Punk or something.
Was
They're
it
supposed
Baby
to have...
Monster?
No, Blackpink.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it was Baby Monster and Pink Punk.
But they had 9 members, and apparently, I can't confirm this, but YG said somewhere he wants them to be like a YG Girls' Generation. And if you look...
And you were an auntie for that?
I don't know. No, not really. Well, because I learned
it's
this.
Unfair for Twice.
I love Twice now, so it's okay. But I learned this fact like a couple years ago, so it wouldn't have like...
Yeah, but Twice was released a couple years ago.
2016. That's like almost 10 years ago now. But
okay,
anyway,
so
no. But
Girls'
like it
Generation was 20 years ago.
But it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like Blackpink didn't end up being modeled after Girls' Generation, though. If we look at Boombaya,
yeah, it's so SM. It's so I Got a Boy. It's not the sound, not at all.
No,
it's really the clothing, but it was what was popular at the time.
Yeah.
So they needed to be not viewed but noticed by the public.
Yeah. But I think the clothing was reminiscent of I Got a Boy, but I can't remember.
Honestly, I think the clothing is reminiscent of I Got a Boy and Big Bang at the same time. I'm sorry, but T.O.P. could wear... Is there a hat in that? Or I'm
I don't think so.
I think I'm misremembering with Pink Venom or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Fluffy hat.
Mm-hmm.
It's so T.O.P.
Yeah, I think so. But at the end of the day, I think there were some slight SM visual vibes for Boombaya. Because I think YG at one point said he wanted to make a YG Girls' Generation. But he ended up making a prettier version of 21.
Girls' Generation was named the girl group, Nation's girl group.
Yeah.
And then it was Twice. Maybe it's because of that you were not liking it.
Yeah, it's the blatant plagiarism for me. But Girls' Generation was always known as the nation's girl group. Mm-hmm. 21 was always known as...
I don't know.
More towards like international audiences, I think.
Maybe.
So then the parallel is... There's no parallel. I'm going to stop talking about parallels. I don't know what I'm talking about.
There's no parallels. I don't see it. Maybe there's a crossover somewhere, but no parallels.
I think blatantly they're very similar.
They can be similar because there's always categories that are not towards the public.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, girl crush, cute concept, but again, if a lot of K-pop groups were really popular just because they were cute. Cute concept was the thing.
Yeah, not so much anymore though.
No.
We really see girl crush, teen crush. There's no more sexy concepts, and I've never really seen a cute second gen concept.
I hope there's no more sexy concept. They're debuting at 14 years old.
Yeah, I think it's good that it's gone as well.
It is.
Because a lot of them were uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
They would...
I'm sorry, but miniskirt?
I don't know too much about AOA, but there's some people coming forward now being like, I didn't want to wear that. I didn't want to dance like that. Mm-hmm. So it's good that it's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
And especially since people are debuting younger
really
and
young.
younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we do very little to protect minors in K-pop.
It was so rare before to have 14 years old artists.
14, yeah.
There was Timon. I think Zolo was 16 when he
was
debuted.
16. Minzy was 16 from 21.
And then Tsui was 16 too.
Mm-hmm.
TVXU Max, Changmin Max, I think he was around 14 or 15.
Okay.
But it's still, it's second gen vibe. It's such a second gen vibes. It's second gen, but I can't think of someone from later gens that it was common for them to debut at a young age versus now.
Now it's like
it's the norm.
And it shouldn't be.
The younger you are, the more it is, the better it is, but it's not.
Yuna from ITZY. Wasn't she 16?
Yeah, she was 15, I think.
It's a little young.
She was young.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to, okay, we're in a big tangent there.
We're really in a big tangent. We were supposed to talk about how much SM sucks.
No, they don't. That's why I'm in the tangent, because I don't want to talk about it. But I mean, it's so weird to see when they're going to a award show.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be there until X hour because it's too late for them. And,
yeah.
And they're like, the staff is coming and you always have a cam on them. And it's like, guys, you need to go. You need to get up.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Oh, okay, bye. And they're going.
Yeah. Wasn't there also like a K-pop group once? So it was just minors.
ITZY.
No, they were all like 12 in second gen.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't think it lasted very long.
I think maybe it was a smaller company because I really don't
definitely
remember.
One of those like novelty groups. But yeah, we really went off track.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so SM. I can be your assistant.
Okay, so like the man himself, the one who's wanted for like tax evasion.
Oh, I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah, fair. I totally support this.
I don't care.
Get the money the way no matter what.
I mean, if he's that wanted, they could go and get him.
Is he not in Korea right now?
He is.
I don't think so. There was a whole thing how he was on the FBI's wanted list or something.
I don't believe that.
Okay, we should fact check it.
I don't believe that. He was at the SM
That's true. I don't know what I'm thinking about then.
A few weeks ago.
I think there was something with taxes though. But...
Yeah, there was 2 years ago. I think he paid it.
Good. He's got enough money to do so.
He does. He does. I think what I like about SM is it's a really big family.
Can you consider it a family if they're paid to be
but I mean,
close?
They look close, especially if it's the older groups like SHINee, Girl Generation. You see them together, and Mina will go and see Tiffany, and Key will go and see Taeyong, and Red Velvet will go and see, I don't know, now they're going to see aespa, but they're friends.
That's an interesting conversation.
Like
whether or not K-pop groups actually like each other. Like, if you're in a group, do you actually like each other? Because didn't Key say he hated?
Yeah, he hated.
Mino?
Yeah,
but
they're
like, you
the
could
best
never
buddies
tell.
now.
You wouldn't have known though.
But they're the best buddies now.
Allegedly.
No, they are. I'm
You're
pretty
sure of
sure
it.
they are. Yeah, they know so much about each other.
Who else hated each other? There was a couple idols that came forward saying like, I didn't like them at first.
I don't really remember because I don't follow those stuff except if it's said in a variety show.
Yeah.
But the only one that I really know that I'm aware of is Key and Mino.
Mm-hmm. I think that could be an interesting conversation though one day.
Yeah.
If we think which groups actually get along, which groups don't get along.
Yeah.
I have so many theories on like which members hate each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be a conversation for another one.
It could. Okay, so if I say a group.
Okay.
I want to know the first song that comes into mind. Okay.
We're doing this now?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it will be only SM
edition.
SM edition.
Okay.
Do I go random? I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to forget about one. Okay.
It's fine.
So if I say Girl Generation, I'm just curious.
Genie.
Genie.
Okay, the first song that came to my head was G, but I want to say Genie.
Okay.
But it's G.
It's G.
G just right like that.
Okay.
You?
Lionheart.
I think you cheated though because you had time to think.
No,
you got to be snappy with it.
I was watching you. If you were going to say it.
Okay.
I was like, is she saying it?
Lionheart. Okay.
I love that song. It's so cute.
It's
Tell me what.
it's a song.
I love it.
Okay. Shiny.
Shiny? It's View.
View.
Mm-hmm.
I had too much time to think now.
Chop chop.
Ring ding dong. that didn't feel genuine though. No.
So Shiny?
View, because you said it.
No.
Next group.
Next group?
Mm-hmm.
Red Velvet.
Oh, I don't know why I wanted to say Sunshine. Do they have a song called Sunshine?
They have Happiness.
Happiness. I think that's what I was thinking of. Happiness.
I don't think they have Sunshine.
FX.
Four Walls.
Okay.
It's just, it's, I don't know, it's just a song that I really like, that I would listen to.
Okay.
NCT.
Boss.
Oh, really? Bus?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think because Mingi and Yuno covered it so much.
yeah. Maybe.
Super Junior.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Their only classic.
Moving on.
It's okay because nobody likes Super Junior on my channel. We're all.
But I do really like Lo Siento.
Lo Siento. I've never heard it.
No, it's not that recent, but it's a newer song.
I only know Sorry Sorry and Mr. Simple, and they're basically the same song.
Yeah, they're the same song from the same year.
Think
One is a cover of the other.
Yeah, it's the same song. That's another idea. K-pop songs that are exactly the same.
Yeah.
But next group. Did we go
Which
through
one
them all?
did we?
I think we went through them all.
Yeah, we didn't say TVXQ.
Neurotic.
Oh, okay.
That's the only song I know, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we went through all the SM groups.
You think?
aespa.
Black Mamba. That's the only good song. Sorry, guys.
Mamba.
Oh, I love it. It was a really good debut song, and a lot of people don't like it, but
Really? Mm-hmm. I think the choreography was insane.
Mm-hmm. It was super cool.
Yeah.
It was super cool. It was insane.
Insane in the membrane.
I'll see myself out.
Wait, what did you say? Did I miss a joke?
No.
What did you say?
Insane.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. Did we say everyone?
I think
Well,
so.
Boa.
Oh, I don't know.
We didn't talk about her.
I don't know any of her songs.
I only know one song, but I don't know the name of the song.
That's helpful.
Yeah. And if I say that she was on a freaking rooftop, it's so helpful because everybody was on a rooftop back in the days.
Yeah. Girls' Generation performed on top of a hospital, I think. Genie.
Yeah, the same rooftop as Monsta X Hero.
Yeah. It's a famous rooftop, I guess.
I think EXO did it too.
Maybe.
On a rooftop.
I don't know.
Wavy. Oh my god, we didn't talk about Wavy.
Love Talk.
Oh my god, it's so good.
That's the only song I know too.
So good.
I feel like we're probably never gonna see Wavy again either.
I'm so sad because I love them. It's a waste because I really like them.
Yeah.
I think it's weird because Win Win was in. Okay, now I'm talking about NCT and I'm not really good into the stuff that happened with NCT.
Okay.
But I think Win Win was in 127.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's not in 127 anymore because he's in Wavy, but he's still under 127 but not active member or something like that. Because sometimes when you search, because I was searching for NCT because I didn't know shit about them before, and I was so confused. And I was watching, and I think the fandom still consider him under 127.
Well, yeah, that's weird. How does he go from being an active promoter in a group to a group that's not, I don't think we're going to see again?
It's so sad.
Yeah. Like, it's sad for the whole group. Like, if you're going to kick Lucas out, just kick Lucas out. Sorry, I don't know if that's...
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's between that and, you know, all these other people can't work anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's the boys who... Maybe it's not them, but I think they want to wait. Because Win Win was in China for a year. For like the same amount of time that Lucas isn't
active,
noticeable on the freaking planet.
Yeah.
Win is in Korea. He just came back from Korea like a week ago.
Okay.
Or I don't know when it will be released, but let's say a month. So I think they wanted to wait for Win, and now they're posting over 6 again and stuff like that. But I mean, all the guys in Wavy, they are so well. All NCT is pretty talentful. Is
talented.
It a word? Talented, talentful. They are talented. I mean, Tan was in Super M. He's like one of the original NCT members.
Yeah. I like Tan.
He's cool, Tan. Hendery, I love Hendery. He's a little bit more unnoticeable, I think. He's
know.
Less popular.
I know Haechan.
Yeah, but he's in Dream.
I'm just saying I don't know a lot of the members.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, that was the SM Stan versus the SM Anti.
Stan SM. Oh, freaking fly.
The fly
is an
SM Anti. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video
with friends you don't have.
And you can also follow us on Instagram, not Twitter, because
we don't use it. So
thank you for coming to episode 3.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. She's got one ear up. It's so
cute.